Okay, we are back. We should be live. Players are getting priority set. Picking crises.
Mic check. Mic check.
Jacob
Okay.
sounds good. Adjusting levels a little bit because you're louder than Pat, but most people are. Yes, so we have Mike DeLuca playing Gregory. Mike won the GT that was here running kind of parallel to this event. Greg won the Invitational last year.
Yep.
So it should be an excellent game. Greg's got a mono Cabal roster, and Mike is playing his Cabal, Asgard, and technically Dormammu, though I still think Dormammu has not hit the table this weekend, but there is a Dormammu in there.
He didn't play Dormammu in the GT, and I
Right.
don't think because I think he played all. It's Asgard, Cabal,
And Dormammu.
Dormammu, yeah, and I think the GT he almost entirely played Asgard, or in one of them he played like all Asgard.
Yeah, so in the Invitational, he's done 3 Asgard, 1 Cabal. And I
Okay.
think the GT was also pretty Asgard heavy. But I know he has plans, like none of it's fake, right? Like he has plans for the Dormammu. He has plans for the both sides.
He played Cabal into me yesterday, so.
Oh, right, and we have a guest commentator. This is Jacob Prellinger of Pineapple Probabilities. He makes all the best dice, the oversized stream dice that everyone loves. He made those. He made sets for the winners, for Carl Khan and for LVO. He makes all the cool dice.
And second
Oh,
win.
yeah, second one too. Yeah, all sorts of. So someone looks like kicked the table. My scoreboard is slightly out of whack, so let's fix this. You get to see me do video editing live. It's a little tall. Oh.
So this looks like this is Scrolls and one of the E's.
Seems not super surprising with a double attrition matchup. All right, so let's lock that and update the layout. So we know it's Scrolls because it's got a unique layout. And then secure is. So we're playing at 19 threat, which means the secure has got to be demons. Yeah. I don't know if it'd reach, but let's not find out.
That'd be terrifying.
Yes.
Thankfully, it wouldn't be going out to the internet. But
Yes, it would just be us. Yeah, so one of our players need to take a really quick bathroom break. So be a little bit here, but he did pick threat, so his opponent's working on the roster. So all those decisions can be made and we'll get right to the game. Yo, welcome to member Mark. Happy to have you. Enjoy your new emoji. You can use in chat. All your favorites from the Discord are here. If you want to support us doing this stream, because we're not running ads, because we can't control when the ads would happen, which is a real bummer. The 2 ways to support us: you can become a member for $3. You get a bunch of custom emoji. The more members we have, the more emoji we can give to members. We also have super chats. So if you want a big message we have to interact with and have to acknowledge, super chats are a great way to make that happen.
get them YouTube dollars.
So with Demons and Skrulls, it's going to be a fight down the middle. Who won Prio? It must have been Greg because Mike said 19 threat.
Yeah.
So Greg Cabal won Prio. So we're going to see a big punch fight in the middle. I think one of the things, so it's interesting that Mike's roster has kind of three different ways to punch fight in the middle. They can do wide Cabal, which I know Mike likes. He can do Cabal with Thanos, which I know Mike loves. And he can do Asgard, which I know Mike loves. All right, I don't know how much Greg's list changes if it's Asgard versus like Cabal Thanos, right? His punch fight in the middle plan might be the same, so I don't know. But I think it's interesting that Mike has those two very different flavors of attrition.
I suspect he has like a plan at point level much more than.
Oh, sure, yeah. That makes it like Asgard at 18, Cabal at 19, maybe something like that. Yeah.
That there's plans like that way, and there may be some that there's like, oh, at 18 I can play both Cabal or But with a dual roster like he has, there are any models that super, like, other than Loki, I don't think much overlaps between those two.
Yeah, so let's look at DeLuca's roster here. We got Mindspace Thanos, as you'd expect. Red Skull 3, Baron Zemo. Does have Loki 1, who's dual affiliated.
Yeah.
And then Bob. And then Thor 2, Jane, Beta Ray Bill. That's his 3 Asgard. And then Loki 1. Dormammu. And then Weapon X, which I haven't seen him. I want to know what the Weapon X is for. I'm sure he has. Like,
I'm willing to bet Weapon X is I need a 3.
Yeah, but I want to know, is that point value thing? Because he's not affiliated anywhere here.
Yeah,
so
no, which is why I
3.
think it's got to be like there's some point value that he needs.
Or some matchup where he really wants, like Zemo and Weapon X would be my guess. Right?
Yeah.
Just like I want more murder 3s.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, knowing Mike, there's a reason for everything he does in here, right? It's all, he spends a lot of time. I know he's been working on this roster for a while too, so.
Was he at, what was the one recently?
Everwinter.
Everwinter,
yes,
yeah.
He did. He played a Cabal Asgard Dormammu roster at Everwinter a week or 2 ago. I don't know if it's the same 10 models or not. I don't remember. Thank you, chat. Dormammu, right? Because Wolverine has really good attack. On his front side, his builder is crazy because it's 5 dice wild pierce, and if you hit the same target twice, you get 2 extra dice on the second one. So you can do 5 dice pierce, 7 dice pierce, and he has a 2-cost charge. So with Dormammu leadership, he has charge on immediately.
Yeah.
And so if they get too close, you can double tap or you can walk charge. Excellent choice for the Dormammu list. Thank you, chat. So let's look at Greg's list.
What do we got here?
Mindspace Thanos as well. Zemo as well. Bullseye. Red Skull 3. The usual suspects there. And then it's an Ultron 2, a Shang-Chi, a Loki 1 as well. They both have Loki 1. MODOK, Nebula, so they both have Nebula, and Bucky. This is another roster where, like, I like a lot of the choices here, a lot of the standard ones, and then there's some interesting stuff. Like, I want to know what the MODOK's for.
Yeah, I was about to go, you don't see MODOK often.
One of
the
the
Age
reasons.
of Turrets is sort of over, but...
Yes, but he has Psychic Fortress.
Yeah.
Do you know what Psychic Fortress does?
That's the everyone gets cover?
Yes. So MODOK pays, I think, 3, and he gains cover, and all allies within 4 gain cover.
Yeah, no, it's huge off of MODOK.
It's a huge, huge bubble of cover, and as someone who really likes like Weapon Stash on Maverick or Refraction on Magneto, I really like the cover cards. That changes the math on the attrition versus attrition fights quite a bit. So this is a central brawl where they are just trying to punch each other. We might see the MODOK Psychic Fortress come out here. Does DeLuca have Dark Empowerment? I assume so. So chat's bringing up, so Dark Empowerment is the Dormammu card, lets you bring back a 3 threat once they're dead.
Oh, yeah.
So being able to just like have a second fresh Weapon X is really strong.
Scary.
Especially because oh yeah, Dark Restoration is the card. Yes, Chad had the wrong name, but the right idea, bringing him back. Because I do think my biggest problem with Weapon X as a model is I think his front side is perfect. I love everything on it. I think his backside gets much worse. Right. The big change for him is instead of the like 5 die, 7 die builder, he loses that whole bonus dice thing, and instead his gainer becomes an AOE, which is good, right? Like having a 0-cost AOE 5 dice wild pierce is objectively good.
Really good, but there's not a lot of situations where AOEs are really, really effective.
Well, and it changes what like matchups he's good into. Right?
Yeah.
So like he goes from being really good at killing a single target to really good at killing a bunch of squishy dudes.
Yeah.
Right? But it's like, well, I started him in a matchup against the scary guy. He got flipped, and now he's bad at the scary guy fight. So that part bothers me. But like Restoration lets him get back to what I consider the much better side. Right? Yeah. I believe they come back healthy. Let's make sure before chat blows me up. Can I get there before them? Yes, the character is healthy. Haha, I win. I don't know if there's a chat delay, but I didn't see any chat messages yet, so. We got a Mike cheering for Mike. Oh, I gotta rejoin the Wi-Fi.
Oh, yep.
You just have to agree to the terms of service. Hotel Wi-Fi is really fun. There it goes. Tablet restored.
There we go.
Okay, so we did get Asgard on Mike's side, which is this one. Let's get his faction token in. Last time I forgot until like halfway through round 1. Mike was playing unaffiliated officially.
Turns out streaming is hard. You're doing a good job running it all by yourself.
Oh yeah, we kept it simple.
I went back after both my stream games.
Oh right,
the night
yeah.
after to go, and your commentary was great.
People were really hyped about your A-bomb. I'm glad we got him on stream. The Web's A-bomb, he was like, whoa, this is really cool. Holy crap.
That was a last-minute addition. It was literally Vince's 2024 video.
You talk about A-bomb.
Yeah, and I had to go bug Johnny Pastrami where the idea came from and ask him what to do with A-bomb. How does he fit in Webs? Because it's not like immediately apparent what he does, but he does something sort of unique and new to Webs, which is, provide a big beefy model that's mobile enough to, run around and contribute if needed, but also like be aggressive with. And I think that's the key to playing him, is to try and play him very aggressively. And so far it seemed to work pretty well. It carried me in the Apocalypse match, and I thought it did well into DeLuca yesterday. I don't think trading him out for Zemo and Toad really would have been significantly different in that match.
Okay. Did we go over rosters yet or no?
I do not believe so. So it looks like on Gregory's side we have that's Zemo, Thanos, Red Skull, Nebula, and Bullseye. And then on Mike we have Loki, Bill, Thor, and Jane.
Yep. Tactics cards. On the Asgard side, it is Fallback Embrace, Recal, Odin's, Rainbow Bridge. On the Cabal side, Dark Reign, I Am a Baron After All, Patch-Up Embrace, and then Survival. So this is cool. I was curious to know if Loki 1 would get play in Asgard. Like, I know he's very good in the Cabal side, right? Like, even Greg has Loki 1.
Yeah.
Because he's super good with the Red Skull 3 leadership. But I also know one of the big reasons you play him is he's very good in the Red Skull 3 mirror. Right, and so it makes sense that you would play him here because his Loki's aura on the flip side, where your crits don't explode, is really nice in the Red Skull 3 leadership. It cuts down the efficacy of using it a good amount. It still counts as a success. Right? You can still pay out power, make your skull into a crit as a success, but it doesn't explode. So it helps keep that a bit more reasonable.
Well, even on his front side, the Loki tax for attrition lists who want to be spending power to get more effect.
Both Thanos and Red Skull have a bunch of very relevant superpowers.
Yeah.
So making them pay extra, right? Because Red Skull 3 wants to use Scalpel every turn, wants to throw terrain a lot. Death Decrees, Cosmic Portals on Thanos' sides, taxing both of them, also super relevant.
Yeah.
So he's very good in the mirror. I'm excited to see what shenanigans he gets up to here. Otherwise, I think the Asgard rosters, the good 3 Asgard models, is kind of what you'd expect. No brothers, which is, I think, the cost of making this a duel. You wouldn't want one of your 2 restricted cards to only be played. On the Cabal side, having the 2/2s I think is super fun and interesting. It's kind of a midline between wide Cabal but narrow Cabal with the Thanos. And so having this idiot to come over here and just grab this Skrull I think is really helpful. Even if he gets pushed here, he's not really under much threat. Both of the Thors are on the top side of the board. So Bullseye just has to not get hit by Loki, or probably beamed by Loki once, honestly. And doesn't get pushed anyways, so this will allow Greg to concentrate his forces in the middle and let these idiot 2 threats run around doing helpful stuff. Bill walk, Bill grab Skrull, Bill roll his dice. Does get pushed. Will probably get pushed forward and then walk straight back. I think Bill can still get to the home demon here. That's the only question. I don't remember the distance on this because Mike would love to have his Incinerate immune Bill hold his home demon. Looks like he makes it.
Yep.
Hard to tell on camera. Always let the players be the. Seems like he's in. All right.
I think that's in.
Yeah. Players seem very confident, so I'm going to trust in them.
Well, they're the one running it, so whatever they think it is.
Doesn't matter what we think. This board position side choice is actually pretty good too, because Thanos can't single walk and. Oh, is this a size? So I don't know if that thing's a size 3 or a size 4. The big rock structure in the middle that's got a scroll on top. I think it's a 4.
It might be a 4. The little one down here, I'm fairly positive, is a 3.
Yeah.
So that might be a 4, but I wouldn't be shocked if it's also a 3.
Sure, totally.
There's terrain floating out there that's like just on the line.
Yeah.
There's a fair amount on some of the tables that you're like, is that a 3? Because there's this 3 over here that's way smaller.
Yeah. I heard the players talking about it, so they know what it is, and they're in agreement at least. But makes it hard to single walk to get to that scroll. So is waiting on his own scroll pickup. Probably because I think Thanos will have to get it, but he wants to see if Thanos could also abduct someone while doing it. So I think he's going to wait on his own home scroll. It just has Zemo be the fool who has to get incinerated for a point and hide behind this building and keep himself safe that way.
I wonder if anybody's going to go grab the northmost scroll now. Because
yeah.
Jane, I mean, that's going to, if Greg is refusing flank, that puts Jane kind of out of the action.
Kind of, right? So I suspect that Jane will do it later.
Yeah.
Because she does.
It's there's no pressure to go do it now,
yes.
right? Like, if he wants to walk Thanos all the way over there to grab that skull,
yeah,
let him.
Yep.
You then refuse that flank and just,
I think the thing that helps Jane is that she will be able to charge next turn, and she has that sweet range 3 builder.
Yeah.
So I think as long as she doesn't get scroll pushed going to get that scroll, she should be able to at least make one attack on someone, like on the Zemo or someone on the midline.
I don't know if it's reachable from the ground, but if it is reachable from the ground, that makes a huge difference too on the push. Because you can't just push her out into space.
And I think it is. As best as I can tell, she could stand directly against the building there.
Yeah.
Pick it up and then not.
I presume so, because otherwise that'd be a terrible,
real difficult guy to pick up. Yeah.
Yeah. But does she have flight?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. She could, so it wouldn't hinder her. But yeah, that would be.
It could make the push way, way worse for her. That's a great point. So thinking about abducting Loki, which he totally can do, and there's no way Mike doesn't know that this is possible. But Loki is one of the better models to get abducted because of Trickster. Right? Like Thanos will punch him once, give him some power, try to punch again, Loki leaves. And Thanos will probably have to use Cosmic Portal and Mind Gem to reel him in. So if Loki Trickster's away, you can't drag him back.
Yeah. I also think in this list, if you're going to have to sacrifice a model, Loki's a decent one.
Oh, yeah. Also, on top of all of this, the root aura, the aura from Loki that makes your superpowers cost more, means Thanos has to pay 1 to use the Mind Gem.
Yeah.
So he can't Cosmic Portal and Mind Gem for 3 power. Because the Cosmic Portal costs 3, the Mind Gem doesn't cost 1. So he can't even double reel in Loki here, which might mean he's out, or at least much harder to get. And this, like you said, this is why Loki is here.
I also think like the threat of putting Root on Thanos.
Oh yeah, that's true. You're catching me on the same thing. Yep. So space first. Well, you're well away from Loki. Don't have to pay for your own space. Okay, so that's definitely a size 4 because Thanos is climbing. Trying to get within 3 of Loki and dealing with parallax of big building. Players agreeing on where he has to stand to be max of 3. All picking up. Love to see that being collaborated on.
This push could be crucial too. If Thanos is Thanos going to pick it up?
I think he's going to do
everything he can first
and pick up at the end, which still matters because it means Jane and Thor can possibly get some attacks on Thanos sooner.
Yeah.
But yeah, Greg knows
also,
to save that.
it also means he's got to keep a power in the pocket
Totally. Yep.
to do that, which may, with
Totally could affect some of the math of what happens
a
here
lot,
too.
yeah.
Yep. So Loki can pay 2 to count blanks on attack or defense, and the timing of that on defense, you get to see the initial attack roll first. So pre-crit explosions, but the very initial attacker roll, then you decide. Oh, excellent judge question here.
That is actually a good one because that's.
So the question is, we know we just talked about you get to see the initial roll before he decides if he wants to count blanks or not. The question is, does the Red Skull 3 player have to commit to using their leadership before that? And I think yes, because I think the Red Skull 3 leadership and Loki count blanks have the same timing step, and the attacker would go first.
Because the explode the crit requires you to do it before the dice modification step, unlike normal sort of dice rules.
Can you pull up Loki?
Yeah.
So what's the timing on I Am a God?
Before rolling attack or defense dice, you may use the superpower.
So it's definitely the Skull leadership has to happen first.
Yeah.
It's going to make these attacks. It's good the players are being very diligent about this, but it's going to make the attack sequence a little bit clunky. Hello, Secret Pat. The stream saw you. Ooh, big roll. Big roll.
1, 2, 3, 4,
I think
5?
4 crits, he said. 3 crits? A lot of crits.
I can count 3. I can't see one of the dice very clearly.
One of these dice were bigger and higher
Yeah,
contrast.
I know. If only someone had decided that's a problem and we should fix that. Where can I put Alfredo that
You
he's
kind of have
visible?
to like hold him in your lap if you want to.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Yeah. So I think that killed Loki. Yeah, it looks like 5 full damage to Loki.
Oh, wow.
The wild throw on the punch is before damage, so he's like, get him out of here. Since Asgard's going to have Prio. And now with Loki dazed, the superpowers don't cost extra. So we're getting a portal. Get Bill off the point. Deny some VPs. Decides not to pick up. I think that's pretty smart with how well things have gone here. That you just want to keep Thanos safe rather than letting him getting pushed in and messed up. Because you can see here, he's pretty close already. I think that's a great point, Will, but we have the dice trays. If you have red dice on red tray and blue dice on blue tray, but those dice trays are taped down so they stay in the camera shot, and I don't want to mess with that during the game.
Yeah. They need to be taped down so it's in the correct spot for the camera.
Yep.
Because we have separate camera for them.
Maybe next time we'll like mark a spot where they have to be so that we can swipe dice trays. If somebody wants to use their own dice tray kind of thing. We'll think about it for squad goals. It's a learning experience.
I think the problem with that would be that there are people who have like vastly different sized dice trays. Like, because mine is a big long rectangle.
Yeah.
Because it's also my tournament tray.
Totally. Most of them are not, like these are about, I don't think I've seen somebody with a bigger dice tray than this. Maybe like in one dimension.
I think the War Game ones might be.
Oop. Are we camera frozen? Yeah.
Yep, camera's frozen. Let's go fix that. And
so they're still
technical difficulties, everyone.
Yeah.
One moment.
So I know it looks like they're still frozen. They're waiting for a judge.
We got DeLuca.
Like, look how steady Greg's hands are there. He's really,
wow, that is cool as a cucumber.
But they're waiting for a judge to tell if this measurement is true, which is what judges are for. If you have close measurements, call a judge. They love doing this.
The judge would much rather be the bad guy than have you angry at your opponent for.
Yep.
And a good judge will tell you that.
discussing with the players. This is it's a very important thing, so John, no. As someone who's judged events and has shaky hands, I don't love doing it, but it's way better. It's the only solution, right? Like the players aren't going to naturally agree.
The judges don't want to make people unhappy.
Yep.
And, in a lot of these situations, one player is going to be unhappy, but they would rather be the bad guy.
Totally. Thanos blocks it all, but Thor does get the push and the Electro Leap, Lightning Arc. I should know the name of that if I'm going to be talking about it. Lightning Arc. Okay.
Chat is faster than the slow hotel Wi-Fi.
Pulling in Thanos, because this is an omnidirectional push, while keeping him on the portal, so he'll always be incinerated for next turn. So we might see a Red Skull walk, and I think get in range to scalpel Thanos back. Yeah, I think he's looking at, can I Operation Rescue Thanos? It does put Skull in a bit of danger, but he'd rather Skull be getting hit than an incinerated Thanos. Totally in range with a walk scalpel, and he can borrow all of Thanos' power to do it. Or Red Skull has to pay 1 when doing stuff. Spender or superpower. He pays 1, can borrow the rest from a friend. That's a great question, Will. I wish it wasn't omnidirectional. It drives me nuts, but here we are.
Why is a builder a spender? Secrets of the universe, my friend.
I mean, making it a spender would be a pretty good Thor nerf. If that costs power to use, you'd see it a lot less often. So looking to see if he can climb before scalpeling, because that keeps him safer from Thor's pounce and stuff, but looks like the short does not get him to within 2. He's still pretty safe from the pounds with the circles, right? Like, I don't think there's an angle where Thor can hit him here while he's kind of like half behind this. But also, camera parallax.
I think there might actually be a line. I mean, it's pretty narrow because he's got him pretty far forward.
There's a world where you could put Thanos in front of Red Skull, not on the portal.
Sure.
And let him take it, but I think it's more.
But if you're trying to save,
like maybe trying to save
Thanos,
both, right?
Yeah, no.
But I think it's almost certainly better to go the full distance back, get him up there where he can't be pounced into, and let Red Skull take his beating. And so I think there was a world where Jane got that scroll, but with how things have gone here, with Loki dazing.
Oh, I think bringing Jane into the fight, especially that seems a little far from here for Red Skull, but.
Yeah, so she's not making an attack this turn, unfortunately.
If she could get an attack in on Red Skull, I definitely think that would be probably the smarter play.
Yeah, but I'm pretty
especially because
confident.
it looks like the other scroll is not going to, because it's just Nebula left, right?
Yes, yep, it's Jane the Nebula.
There's no, if Jane doesn't pick up a scroll, there's no scrolls getting picked up.
Yeah. But I think with the fight going badly, we need Jane to come in.
Yeah.
But it sucks that she's just going to double walk and not be doing scenario stuff while doing it. I guess she could get a portal to get up point, but you really don't want her to be incinerated. She's not that durable. She does have her rerolls, but her rerolls get way worse when you're incinerated. Otherwise, she is 8 health on the front, 6 on the back, 4-4-4. I don't know what her Mystic is. I know she's 4-4 on the first 2.
4-4-4.
Cool. And then can pay 2 power to reroll any non-skulls, which is why the Incinerate kind of doubly bad for her.
I'm stealing someone's Coke Zero.
Oh, that's just an extra one.
Yeah.
Those yours now. Got to stay hydrated. Got to stay caffeinated. Okay, yeah. So thinking about where to put Jane, so she's in an optimal place. I like this positioning too, because it does also put threat on Bullseye. Like if things go well in the middle, she can do a run down Bullseye and try to kill him.
Yeah.
And she's staying out of. So what Nebula wants to do turn 1 basically always walk gunshot. Right, she just wants to have 3 power next turn to be able to spend her. Her spender is incredible with the Red Skull 3 leadership. I mean, all of her attacks are incredible with the Red Skull 3 leadership. And Jane correctly staying far enough back that nobody's getting shot by Nebs. Schmid, we do not have details on the other game and probably won't be getting them on this stream. So you're on your own and understanding what's going on in that one.
Yeah, you'd have the exact same information we could look at on long checks.
They're playing very far away, like in the middle of the room too, so no shot we can get you much there, unfortunately.
Yeah, the stream table is not right next to the other tables.
We needed power outlets and Ethernet. So Nebula is double walking in. Okay, so I think this is a smart thing you can kind of do with your throwaway 2 threats, is use them to block pounce lanes.
Yeah.
Right, be like, all right, Thor, you're going to pounce someone. That always happens, but let me at least decide who you hit instead of you decide. Let me take some decisions away from you.
Yeah.
Because Nebula is not Thor's priority #1 target. So turn is over, score 2-2. Bullseye has a thing, Zemo standing on a thing, versus Asgard. Bill has a thing, and where did the second Asgard point come from? Is Jane on
Bill
a point?
Bill had an extract.
Yeah, that's 1VP. But I don't think Jane's on anything.
I don't think anybody is. Yeah.
Should be 2-1.
I think it should be 2-1. Is he forgetting that, like,
I think
Bill got moved off?
I think so. I think just in his head, he's just like, oh, Bill's going to hold the things down on a point, give me my 2.
Yeah.
But no, it's Asgard models. Okay, well.
Though I do have to say, as a current Webs player and a former Kingpin player, I am dumbfounded at this score. Did they not play the game at all? Like,
they're playing their game,
quit
buddy.
Halfway through.
As said, though, we are not judges. We're not even allowed to call judges when we see things. We just watch players maintain game state. So Asgard has priority, as he expected, but is in a tough spot. Obviously, usually wants to open with a Thor. Nebula kind of blocks the optimal one. I kind of think, I guess I'm not sure how far apart Red Skull and Thor 2 are. If they're outside of 3, I would have liked to see Nebula just go base to base with Thor. Because I think there's a world where he can pounce into Nebula and then start attacking Red Skull. Whereas if she was base to base, there might be a way that, like, he can't move anywhere and can't get his attacks into Red Skull. But if they're inside of 3 already, then that's a moot point. So, okay. Jane instead, saving Thor for later. I think that makes sense.
Yeah, because I think where she is now, he could even just pounce past her to get.
Possibly, sure.
Doesn't even. I mean, you could see if you could pounce into her and maybe get lucky and just destroy her that way.
Yep.
But you could just sort of pounce due west. You know, a little south, and just sort of skim past her and then get into range of Red Skull.
But you need to get value out of Jane. And you know Thor's kind of a safer model to wait on his activation. So charge with Jane here. She will get 2 rerolls because of the charge, and then a reroll from her leadership because she's attacking someone within 2. But it looks like things are going well with their skulls. 4 successes, blocks 1, taking 3. I don't know if she got the wild. Doesn't look like it. It's a skull alive on 1. So I think Jane could have gone further forward here to throw the size 4 that Thanos is standing on.
Yeah.
And stop that from blocking other pounce lanes and things like that. And I'm guessing, yeah, brace used on that because he really wants to get a Red Skull activation here, which totally makes sense. You live on 1. You got to get your value. So I expect him to activate and do some dumb Death Decree gunshots. He can try to soften up Thor, put pressure on that activation. He can't shock Thor, unfortunately. The Wild Shock and Red Skull's build are really good, but Thor, being Mr. Lightning, immune to shock. Loki outside of 4 Red Skull.
So I think the question is, how does Red Skull capitalize on this?
Yeah. Again, I mean, he can shoot Jane if he wants to try to threaten to keep priority. Since Jane's activated, he can kill Jane without affecting priority math. But he is still one wider, so it's kind of unlikely. But then, like, if Nebula randomly dies to the pounce, you can get priority that way, which is interesting. So there's some amount of temptation here to unload into Jane and back up.
Yeah.
Okay, Dark Rain from Zemo into Loki.
Loki.
Okay, just wanting to get him off the board. Has to scalpel into range, which means he's not in range for the tax. So he's going to try to come do some trigonometry here as best he can to get away from scary things while being in 4. He will be in the Loki aura, which is also 4. Your crits don't explode, so he's going to be hexed on these attacks. And might also get blown out by Trickster here. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Yep. Here we go. Okay, I forgot about Trickster. Yeah, this is... So, Trickster stops the... If you get out of range, the attack sequence ends, and you get an action back. But since the attack still happened, Death Decree is considered used. Thanos has spent his power. He cannot Death Decree any further attacks this turn. So...
Yep.
Big... Yeah, Wintergrim, I do think going into Thor is interesting as well, but he definitely said Dark Rain on Loki. Oof. 7 successes into Thor. Jane leadership defensive reroll. So 5 damage into Thor.
Wow.
Thinking about Odin's, thinking about Recal. Also fallback. Lots of post-attack decision-making to happen here. Oh, right, because he still has 2 actions. Like, I'm not totally sure about the fallback, but right. Trickster gives you a second action, so there's a second gunshot that could be coming here. So there's a fallback happening. Oh, we got an imposter Vince in chat. Currently, he can be logged into 2 places at once. So just falling back.
Exactly
outside of 4. Yep, staying as far forward as he can while not getting shot. And then here's the 5 damage. Red Skull gets 4 power total because he has to pay 1 for the leadership that was used there. And now he has a second action. I am somewhat tempted to walk and throw that size 3 at Thor. It almost certainly gets braced, but like getting braced out of here is cool, you know?
Yeah,
and it's one less thing Thor can throw at you.
Yeah.
Or Jane or Bill. Like the Asgard team has a lot of terrain throws, so I'm kind of interested in getting terrain out of here. And also, like, Red Skull's dead. Like, he's on 1 health. Lightning arcs are going to find him. That man is dead.
If Thor lives, he dies.
Yes. So I will absolutely trade the 1 health on Red Skull for Brace. And the scary thing about backing up is that, so Thor has the omnidirectional push and the arc on his builder, and they're in what order he wants. So he can always push, like Thanos, closer to Red Skull, and then arc the point onto him anyways. So,
I mean, it's pretty far range.
It's range 3, yeah. He might not
so
even be outside of it already. Which means he can arc into Skull and then pull Thanos in afterwards, right?
Yeah.
I want that brace. I want to get that out of here. So yeah, this is kind of what you were talking about, right? Where Nebula's only half blocking the pounce angles with where she is. So DeLuke is looking to see, can he? Oh, he's walking. Okay.
Oh, is he going to try and pounce towards Red Skull here?
Well, there might be a walk, throw the terrain, bring Thanos down to ground level, and then pounce into Thanos.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, no, that's definitely possible.
I'm curious.
That was the question I had, was who's he going to throw at?
Yeah.
Zemo or...
I do think a good way to deal with this Cabal squad, if you can, is to just kill all of the friends. Right?
Yeah.
Thanos is very hard to kill. The rest of this Cabal list is very glass cannon-y. Blocks 1, takes 4, is dazed because he took a lightning arc last turn.
Yep.
Okay, here's the pounce. I'm assuming into Thanos.
Yep.
Checking the lightning arcing, I'm guessing.
Yeah, definitely it's doing that.
Two damage. Thanos blocks nothing, takes 2.
I'd swear one of those was a skull, but okay.
He's not reality. He's mind space. Because he's got the red skull.
Not skull, shield.
Oh, okay. Huh.
But
boy.
whoa.
Enormous.
Whoa, there we go.
So 6 into Thanos, dazing Thanos. 1 into the arc, into Red Skull to daze that.
Yeah.
So all 3 of those models are dazed. There are two threats left to activate on the Cabal side. He's getting prio.
Thor 2, fair and balanced.
Model does a lot, man. This was the walk, too, is the really goofy thing.
Yeah, he forced him to walk and still dazed 3 models.
Picks up the scroll that was lying there, rolls crits, does not get pushed anywhere. Oh, Doc's is right. There, you did see a block. It would have been 4 damage, block 1, reduce 1,
yes,
takes 2 from the
that's
pounce.
right, because it's a size 4,
Yep.
5 damage, yeah.
Nebula blaster pistoling Thanos, so it's going to be gunshot
Thor.
spender. Thor.
Yes.
The player said Thanos, and I just repeated them, but. So the injured Loki hiding behind the building is still within 4 of Nebula. So doing the sequence of explaining how you can use the skull leadership here, but it can't explode any crits. Yeah, next, I totally agree. Red Skull need to get that 4 out of there. Like, so I say nay. 7 dice, crits and wilds deal damage. There's 1 to Nebula.
Kevin, if I knew they were playing MCP in Japan, I'd agree with you.
So now the spender into Thor. The leadership still available, so the leadership just to get a success. Won't explode, but. And then we'll have rerolls for Nebula. Ugh, rough. No damage onto Thor. Did get the stun. Doesn't super matter at this point, but rough Nebula. I mean, the Loki aura really does put a cap on what Nebula can do. Right. Part of the grossness here is that she can use the leadership to explode crits and then re-roll them with Nebula stuff to maximize her damage. So that Loki aura putting in a lot of work here.
And Bullseye's not going to be able, because Thor only took 5 damage.
Yeah, it looks like it.
So
4 health remaining.
Bullseye can't come in and
well,
finish the job.
He could.
He can't automatically come in and finish the job.
It'll require a lot of crits, but he totally could.
No. There's nothing scarier than 4-die attacks.
Nebula places off of her spender as well, so figuring out, kind of hemming Thor in a little bit here.
So now it's
oh, right, yeah, Mike, I agree. So I knew he couldn't throw the pillar, but I want him to throw the big building Loki's hiding behind into Thor. I guess doesn't super change what would have happened here. Yeah, I agree, John, that the Cabal really needs to get. Can't let Thor activate a second time next turn. Has to get through Odin's, but Thor is only on 4 health, which is not a lot. I guess Odin's and Recal available defensively.
Yeah.
But it's going to be.
So now it seems like all the activations, with everything dead, there's a lot of just going to be positioning activation. So the question is what does he do with Bill? Does he bring Bill up?
He walks forward.
Yeah, he's walking forward once.
Maybe throwing Nebula somewhere or shooting his gun at Nebula. Just setting within 2 of Thanos for next turn.
Yeah.
Knowing that if Thor's going to die, Bill can then mess with Thanos. Here's Bullseye coming in. I assume walk and make an attack at Thor. Roll your million crits and kill him. Trying to stay outside of gun of or Jane Spender, which is it's range 4. So he's like, oh, that's not happening. Oh, daggering Jane instead. Ooh. Thinking about it. Knife into Thor.
Yeah, but I think that's right, because Jane's got no damage on her, and you might get lucky.
What? No. What? It's like 3 successes.
It's a hit, wild, and a skull, and a shield, it looks like.
Auto point instead. 3 health remaining on Thor.
Why didn't Bullseye convert the skull?
He wanted to save a power for the auto point.
But there's no power. Oh, no, it gains. It's an auto gainer.
Oh yeah, you're right.
So he either misplayed that. Right?
Yeah,
that he didn't realize
so
it was an
Bullseye
auto
should be on 1 power.
Yeah.
And yeah, he should have used the skull crit because it's going to gain a power. You lose a power leadership. Still had 1 auto point. I think slight misplay there. Looking to see if Loki can return into camera.
Loki go grab that scroll and then try and walk sort of protecting with his aura, or?
I think he doesn't need the VPs.
Yeah.
I think I'd rather, he's looking to see if he can punch Nebula, which I would absolutely do in a heartbeat if he's in range, but it doesn't look like he is. But I think I do like getting Nebula or Loki up in the shit so he can start contributing and keeping that aura on as many people as possible. It's just such a big deal in this matchup. Just walk. I'm surprised he didn't he's got a beam. It's not a good beam, it's only 4 dice. But I'd roll those bones into Nebula, I think. Maybe just doesn't want to power her up.
Fair enough, she's on no power right now, so. Keeping her spender and whatnot offline. Especially because Thor picked up the scroll.
Yeah. So Asgard scored 3, going up to 5. Cabal scores 1, going up to 3. So we got to kill Thor here. Not easy. Dark Rain being gone and getting no rerolls out of it is really rough. That's the card when something has to happen. Dark Rain is the card for it. So getting the Trickster blowout there is a big deal for this turn. Cards the Cabal player has left. That's not my notes. Survival, which doesn't help us here.
Because he has Prio.
Yep. I'm a Baron after all, which is a good card, but I don't think you're doing Zemo first. And then a patch up. So no offensive levers to pull here, really.
Yeah.
I guess Zemo can use Baron for rerolls or something. I don't see health or power. All right. Zemo, Master Swordsman, I guess with Death Decree on the injured side, this is like a 9-die reroll all builder.
Yeah.
So the only scary part of Zemo is he only has 2 attacks, which means both have to kill, right, with the way Odin's works.
Yeah.
Yeah, Docs, I'm not confident that Thanos is in the 4, but it's pretty likely. Because I think he was measuring just outside of 3 of Loki to Thanos when Loki walked up there. I believe that was the 3-stick, so I'm pretty sure he's within 4. Double checking Thor's health, making sure they understand how much damage you got to do here to make this happen.
Yeah. I think, so the players are discussing how much health Thor has left, and there's some confusion over that.
Yep.
But I'm fairly certain Mike has the right table state there.
As far as I know, yeah.
Yeah.
I think the only slip we saw was that extra VP on turn 1, which doesn't look like it's going to matter with the way
this game is going. I'm going to be shocked if the only way this gets to 16 is if it ends up with Bullseye standing in a corner.
Yeah.
And everything else is dead.
I ain't too concerned about it.
Yeah, and he brought Bullseye in, so.
Okay, so Master Storms is Death Decree. I think. Oh, no, Red Skull's going. Oh, yeah, 9 dice physical. No crits here.
1, 2, 3.
Seems like a good roll.
No, that looks like a pretty good roll there.
Letting Thor die here. I think this is right. I see too many people spend all their cards to try to keep a low health model alive, and then just like, you probably fail anyways, and now you're down cards.
Well, it can be a case of forcing them to spend resources, though, to do it, right?
It can, but you're not like, you're taking an action off of Zemo, right?
Yeah, no,
in this
I
situation.
know. But like a great example was, like playing cards to make in the game yesterday. You know, if I could play cards to make Miles live and force him to, spend cards to then really try and kill Miles, totally worth it. I knew Miles was going to be dead the moment he got pushed out into space.
Yep.
And it was just, can I tax him enough to get what he wants? You know, I'm going to lose him either way. I just want to make it expensive.
Yeah.
So
Zemo picks up the scroll, passes the scroll check. So that part's good. Thinking about now, second action. I do think a Steel Rush into Bill makes sense. Oh, he's thinking about Baroning, maybe? I don't think he has enough power to do what he would want. Here's a charge. I kind of also don't hate trying to snipe Loki. So exactly at 3, which gets him out of the Loki aura. I would have been really tempted to try to, like, do a 7 dice reroll all into Loki. Or 6 dice reroll. Going into Bill instead, though. Outside of the aura. 6 successes. Great swing. Jane leadership reroll because it's free. Block 2, reduce 1, takes 3. Half dead Bill. And Zemo's getting the hell out of here. So Cabal achieved the main objective, right? They were not letting Thor activate again, which was very important. Didn't really get any better. I mean, the 3 damage on Bill is nice, right? But, like, Not too much else extra. Bill's aggressiving. Makes sense. We might see him put some pressure on, like, there's definitely a world where I could throw Thanos away and then bonk Skull a bunch.
I wonder if he can throw him into bullseye even.
Oh, definitely can. He throws medium.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah, Bill. Turns out Bill's a good throw. Who would have known? I think also asking about the train. Maybe he thinks he wants to throw out an ammo instead. Though with Cabal having brace, it's not the most exciting.
I mean, you get brace. I mean, you've got to either eat through brace or never throw anything.
Totally, yes. But I think I would rather eat through brace while displacing. Right, so like if you throw Thanos into bullseye, you probably get brace, but you also get to move Thanos out of there.
Yeah.
So I think I'd be looking at that rather than just a terrain throw. Bill punching Red Skull.
I think he's going to – I also think you can just wait and, spend your attacks and see where you end up.
Totally. I mean, it seems like that's what we're going down.
If you whiff into Red Skull, I think throw Thanos.
Oh, doing the throw first.
Oh, okay. He's just going to roll it.
Box 2 takes 2. Okay. I'm a little surprised there wasn't a brace there, but. Oh, Greg burned brace already. Okay.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Sure. Yeah, that's right. Jane threw terrain turn 1. Thanks, chat. You're the best. Red Skull dead. Brutal.
No more leadership.
And still an action left. And gunshot, summon the storm from Bill into Zemo, who's on fire because he's been on some demons. Only 2. Okay. All right. Super real. Blocks it. All right. That's something. Still rough not having a Red Skull activation here. He had a lot of power he could have sucked up, and also, like, injured Death Decrees are where the money's at. And so having an injured character go down without being KO'd is rough. That Red Skull activation could have done a lot. So it sounds like Nebula's activated.
He wants to attack Bill. He's trying to decide if he wants to walk out of Loki Aura first.
Yeah, does have Death Decree here, so some 6 dice builders are pretty good. But crits are great. Though I think I'm staying to attack twice, especially because you don't have leadership anymore, so you're not losing out on extra crits. 6 dice pick on the Bill, who doesn't have power to reduce. Shields down on Bill here. Five successes. I think that's a dead Bill. Oh, no, blocking 3. It's only taking 2. Only 2, which is unfortunate, but does give her spender money. And I can't imagine this role where she doesn't just rip a spender. Bill thinking about aggressiving. It's free to think about, I don't see a great place to go, but you might as well see what your options are with it. You can always just stay where you're at.
How much? He's only got 1 or 2 life left, right?
1 health.
I would actually think about aggressiving to make sure you stay away from bullseye.
Yeah. Yep. You're a genius. Luke is doing this exactly what you said. At least make him walk and throw that knife.
Yeah. I mean, I might even just walk just straight north just to.
Well, aggressive has to go towards.
Oh, yeah. Well, but like as north as possible then.
Yeah.
To just stay away from bullseye.
Rip the spender, I assume. Yep, there's the spender.
So here's an interesting question. Odin's Blessing reduces to 1.
Yep.
Can you then, whatever Bill's inert of pain,
sure can.
reduce it to 0?
Yep.
Oh.
Costs 4 power.
I mean, yeah, but it's
yes,
spicy.
You can order those the way you want. So you can play Odin's to take 1, reduce 1 to 0, laugh at your opponent's face. Bill takes the one from the shock sword, not very surprising there. Trying to get the scroll as close to Thanos as he can because Nebula can't hold this thing. Yeah, so I mean that's capitalizing on the value that Zemo provided. All right, Zemo doing half of that, letting Nebula do the other half is cool, but it's still scary for Asgard. We are down to just Thanos and Bullseye left to activate on that side versus Jane and Loki. And Jane can be scary. She's very swingy in a very Thor 1-like way, but she does have some more reels. I want to know... Oh, no, she probably doesn't have the power for that. Okay.
So she has 5 power right now.
Yes. I was trying to say, do you have enough for double spender? Because then if Thanos and Bullseye are within 2, you might kill a Bullseye just from the AoE damage. But
I don't think Bullseye's not within 2.
Yeah, it looks close on that, and also she doesn't have the power to do it twice anyways. So, fake plan. So I think this is a Zemo assassination run. Walk charge. He's on fire, holding a thing. Getting him off the board.
Is that really the... I guess, I mean...
So he's also doing this one so he can keep Prio. Right now, Asgard has Prio.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
And so he wants to try. I think he's planning on keeping Prio so that Thor can have a great turn. And he doesn't have to blow Odin's. And it doesn't sound like Jane rolled good. 1 success. Loki blocks it. I mean, she has 2 rerolls, so she's not as swingy as Thor 1, but still a swingy model. That's good. That's the kind of thing I think Cabal needs to come back into this one. So Thanos picking up. Does get pushed.
Where does he push him?
I think it's a huge thing here with space and stuff still being available. I mean, it'll cost him a power to space with the Loki aura.
Well, you might have pushed him out of it, yeah.
Depending on where we go with this, yeah.
Yeah, just make him have to spend all these resources to try and, because...
I don't think this is massively consequential, which is probably why he did it at the start. Because it's like, I'll be fine. And I agree with that.
Well, I think he's... I don't think either of them were... Well, maybe Jane was in range.
I think she was.
I mean, probably could relimit her in.
So space over there. Doesn't seem like he's in the Loki aura because not paying taxes for it. Mind gemming Jane where she could be bonked into some terrain. It is only size 1, so you only get 1 bonk, but that's what you got. 6 dice punch. So unfortunately with Red Skull down, this is just vanilla 6 dice. I mean, wild throw, but no Zemo rerolls, no Red Skull leadership. Nothing saucy. Jane buying rerolls. You can roll all non-skulls on defense for physical energy attacks. She blocks all of it. Wild hits her into the terrain. 1 damage. Second punch. Here we go. Jane blocks it all. Gets the throw again, though. Looking to see, probably try to collide her into this tree, but I don't think the angle's great. Maybe it is. Oh, yeah, totally is. Rough. Not what Cabal wanted to see there. But again, I mean, that's why people put, one of the reasons why Reality Gem's so good on Thanos, right? Is that that really changes his math. And, like, obviously with the Red Skull leadership, you can get away with mind space, but it does mean your Thanos feels extra mopey should your leader get sniped at any point. So, I don't think this turn has made a bigger hole for Cabal. I think they're still behind the 8 ball like they were at the start of this turn.
I think with Red Skull off the table, they're actually probably in a slightly worse state.
Oh, okay. Yep, I can see that. So Loki walking up, thinking about how he wants to try to kill Nebula. Originally was going to be a count blank strike, but now he's thinking about spenders, and back to count blank strikes. Geeks, purple's my favorite color. That's the beginning of it. Also, it's also Vince's favorite color. So you see a lot of purple when he and I do shit. But
It's a Sacramento thing.
Purple's his favorite color in Chicago. We're just two purple-loving boys.
Go-Go Bordello has a great song titled "Start Wearing Purple."
Looks like that did 1 damage to Nebula. Not a lot, that's for sure. Bullseye throwing knives at Jane. Jane buying rerolls here. 3 successes for Bullseye. Blocks 1, takes 2. Jane has taken 4 of her 8 health on the frontsy side. Hit and run from Bullseye and a second dagger. This is Bullseye activations. Throw knives, throw knives. 1 damage squeak through. Bullseye does not have to pay for it, so he'll end the turn on 1 power. Jane has taken 5 of 8. So we're marking where Thanos is so we can more accurately measure a medium move from Bullseye, which is what that short template is there for, to keep things clean. So using the 2 threats to block
Pounces.
pounce angles, limit those. Got the wild bleed on that second throw as well. So. Asgard scores nothing. Cabal scores 3, has a VP lead. We might get to a point where this ends on 6. Like, we're not getting to 16. But yeah. Thanos is a tanky boy. He can live through a lot of stuff sometimes. And the 2 threats are still both healthy. So, like, actual total tabling is still a bunch of work on the Asgard side to make happen. I think this first activation of Cabal is going to really make or break some stuff. Both Loki and Thor kind of in danger, but also Odin's Brace and Recal are the best defensive cards you could have in this situation.
So, are we going to open with Thor, do you think?
I would.
Yeah.
He stands the best chance of killing multiple models here. Thor, Spender into Thanos. Like, there's definitely a world where he can daze both 2s while killing Thanos, and then we're just, this is over. We're going home. Well, going to next round. This is only the semifinals. Checking to see in the no-crit aura, so none of that on defense. Blocks 3, reduce 1. Can't ask for more for that on 3 dice. I think Mike is thinking about Recal.
Yeah, I was about to go. He got 3 successes there.
I had to look over, make sure the camera ain't frozen, but nope, these guys are just very big thinkers. So you place within 1. The cape caught a Nebula, so we're resetting that position as best we can. The spindly bits on the Thors love doing this.
Capes.
Yeah, well, the lightning bolts do it too.
I know. This is
like the worst models for abducting friends when they get
no
moved.
capes.
Remembering those 2 are definitely within 2. So there's a throw away here. Has to place first, can then throw away. Throwing her into Nebula, definitely the scarier of the 2 threats. And also the more wounded one. Or I guess same, because she's 5 on the front. Oh no, that's not a bleed, that's 2 damage. Nebula down. Okay, so Mopey attack, but did get the collateral damage he wanted out of that situation. Builder into Thanos, I believe he said.
I thought he said Bullseye.
Okay.
Yeah, 3 dice.
Yeah, I think changing plans here to just snipe the 2s is absolutely correct. It gets the wild arcs, but doesn't do anything because Thanos just reduces to 0. Bullseye drops it. I'm expecting Thor to pick this the fuck up. No. Oh, no, a pounce. There's a pounce coming. Oh, deciding he'd rather put it. I mean, it's like Bill and Loki over there perfectly happy to hold stuff.
Yeah.
Where are the other ice tracks? Zemo has one. There's one still on the top of the board.
So Zemo, Thanos.
Oh, Thanos has, yeah, that's the one I was
The one that was just dropped and the one that never got picked up.
Yep, and there's the pounce into Thanos. Blocks nothing, reduce 1, take 3. He's got 9 health on the back on Thanos, right?
It's awfully large. Yeah, I think it is 9.
So like now I think the best option is Zemo to try to snipe Jane because she's only on 3 health, which is less than everyone else, and is in the best position to double tap and does the most damage. But does still have to force your way through Odin's, which is spooky. Playing I'm a Baron after all to load up on power. Great, love that card. Charging for 2. No. Killing Thor is not the thing that matters. You got to keep your pieces on the board as Cabal, I think.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. Yep. Yep, they know what they're doing. They don't need my advice.
I wonder if he was trying to angle over to just in case he like spikes.
Oh,
or he spikes
sure.
enough and then can not have to, like he's anticipating having to spend a lot to kill her, so he can be within range to just a 5-die strike Thor. And
Sure, totally could be. But I do think if she spikes that high, there's a high chance Odin's gets played and has to attack a second time anyway. So,
but is he charging Master Swordsman 6-die Steel Rush?
Yep.
You know.
Coming for Jane, who's hiding behind that blue tree. Making sure within 2 for Master Swordsman rolls. Gets it. Master Swordsman a builder into her. And the Desecree, making sure. Got to get Odin's out of there first if you can.
Yeah.
9 dice.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5 crits on 9 dice, a very normal amount. Master Swordsman, this is... I mean, if he wants Jane to live, this is the most Odin's Odin to ever Odin.
Oh, yeah.
Mike, happy to let Jane daze here, which I think makes sense.
When do you play Odin's then?
I think he's trying to keep it for one more round of Thor.
Okay. Yeah, she was healthy. Letting her daze isn't.
Yes, if she was injured, I think it'd be a very different story. But the fact that she's healthy, and now we have a Zemo spender into Thor to get some damage, and probably immediate move to put Thanos in the Zemo bubble.
Yep.
2 damage on Thor, and bleed. 2 and bleed on Thor. Not an exciting patchup, but patchupping Thanos for 2 because that's the power he has left and just needs Thanos to live here.
Yeah, I was about to go. Do you go with Bill or do you go with Loki? Both have a fair amount of power on them.
Yeah, the Loki part's unfortunate because I don't think he's within 2 of Thanos, so it would only be a walk punch, whereas Bill can at least do a punch, a spender, and possibly a throw. Bill, spender, God Hunter.
Bill may have. No, he had 5. I was about to, he maybe have enough to double spender.
No, just off.
Yeah.
So 8 energy dice based on size, no crits on Thinking about Jane leadership, it is once per turn, using it. I have no idea if he hit the throw trigger or not.
Well, there was a wild that was pulled out.
2 damage. Did get the hurl.
Yep.
Can't really throw anywhere too exciting, but can kind of maybe wiggle him out. There's a world you can like throw him, punch him, get a power, throw him medium again, but Thanos with space in mind can really get back in there, so probably not hugely consequential. And obviously the collision doesn't do any damage because reduces.
Yeah, he
0.
auto reduces 1.
So just going for damages. 5-die builder into Thanos. Only 2 successes. Block 1, reduce 1. Spends a power to pick up. See if he gets scroll pushed. Doesn't get pushed. Bill is done. Yep, I mean, I think that's about what you expect there. Some amount of damage to happen to Thanos. You're unlikely for Bill to do it all himself. I think we're going to see Thanos try to beat up Thor now. Because if he goes for Loki, that gives away Prio, which feels disastrous. Because it's just Thanos and Loki left to activate. So I think we're going to see Thanos try to put some work in on Thor.
I don't know. He's looking at...
He's paying the space because of Loki taxes.
Yeah, I was about to go. He wants to...
He might try to move this fight outside of the bubble.
Yeah, I was about to go. He's got to do something about the bubble, though, because it's going to cost him.
Yep. I don't know if this gets outside of 4. It looks very close.
Parallax from the camera angle is going to make it
yeah, we'll wait for the players.
Hard to estimate any of these.
Eight dice energy blast into Thor. Okay, looks like Thanos is out of the aura. Wintergrim gives a good point. He could have mind gemmed Loki first.
Yeah.
Which I think would have been better. Really banish him. 3 damage into Thor. Has to push. Puts slow, which doesn't matter. Pushes him into Bullseye. Doing the Thor counterattack. So 7 dice damage per wild and crit. Gets 2 successes. Down to 1 because of Thanos. 1 damage. That's 4 damage on Thanos. Injured. And I assume we're going to see another big 8-dicer. 3 health remaining on Thor. I'm absolutely going for the 8 dice. We might see the Odins finally
I think
come.
this is when you Odin, because I think if Thor lives, that's very bad. Because
though
you've only
Cabal
got
will have Prio, so like if he Odins to keep him alive this turn, top of next turn he might just still blow. Like Bullseye could kill him.
Oh yeah.
Which is spooky. So maybe thinking about. He also has recal here, though I don't think there's a recal happening because they picked up the dice, and usually Mike's pretty good about leaving his dice if recal's being considered. All right, sorry, we're waiting on the second attack. Duh.
Yeah.
I was like, boy, I got way too far in the future there. It's 5 successes. Now he's thinking about recall.
Because I think 1, maybe 2 blocks.
Yeah, not great. Definitely a dead Thor here without a card played. There's the Odins. Confirm he doesn't have a wild, so he doesn't have to worry about that. And 1 damage. It's still spooky for Thor for sure. Thor's 8 on the backside, right? I believe so. I think he might. Yeah, he's 9-8. Yeah. Which means the Bullseye kill on Thor is alive and well. And recal ain't going to stop it. The hero. 5 health on Thanos remaining. With just a Loki to walk and bop him. Counting blanks is a really good ability. I guess he could count blanks on a spender to get more dice. Oh, bridge and double tap. Yeah, much better, much better. Forgot bridge was still in here. Oh, yeah, Brace is behind our dice cam. So Brace and Recal are still alive. Brace is just hiding behind the dice cameras. So using it to get Thor away from shit, try to pull him to safety, and also to get him out of the landing zone. Jane is still behind the blue tree, but she did get dazed this turn. So we'll be here for next turn, but ain't activating this turn. Counting blanks, punching Thanos.
Oh, wow.
1 damage. Oh, that's a good point, Kia. With the Bullseye plan, if Thor counterattacks and gets 4 successes, Bullseye just did. No damage on the second attack. So the 2 Loki count blank punches amounted to 1 damage. Very rough. 2 points for Asgard, or Cabal. 1 point for Asgard. Still not totally convinced points are going to matter, but whatever happens this turn is going to be very consequential. Everyone on the Cabal team is now injured. Everyone on the Asgard team is now injured. No healthy characters left. So we have to kill Thor, without question. I mean, Jane, if you kill Thor, there's definitely still a very spooky Jane can kill Thanos, and we're not in a great spot. But there's no way Thor can live through, like, Thor must die.
Yeah.
Or I think Cabal is just screwed. And I think I'm living my life with Bullseye to do it, as weird as that sounds. I think that's the least. I think him dying to the 7 dice counter thingy is way less likely than
I
the
think he's out
punches
of
failing.
range, though.
Oh, do you think he might not be within 4? Yeah, that's a good
Yeah,
question.
in which case then.
Well, no, because they were like base, and Thor only went 3 with Bridge. Remember, because like he had the 2 threats to hold Thor in
Oh, yeah.
place.
No, he's got to be then.
Okay, yeah, and he's looking at it at least. Oh, they're out.
Oh, he can. Bullseye is powered up. He can walk,
Spender, do it. Okay.
and do it with the spender,
Oh,
right?
I'm
Because
confused how
it's
Thor got out, but okay.
4 power for the spender, and then 2 auto points off the spender. That's the 6 he has.
Yep, that'll do it. Oh, that's even better, because with the rapid fire, the Thor counterattack has to wait.
Yeah.
So you fully resolve the 2 attacks, which
Yep.
means dicelessly, no matter what,
Yeah.
Thor would be dead. Oh, the Loki aura makes it cost more.
Oh.
Loki aura makes it cost more. Yep, so the spender is not it. Yep, if they started within 4, would totally work, but. So going with Thanos instead, have the most dice pools. It seems good to me. 8 dice into Thor. Four successes. Here comes the recal. 2 skulls on Mike's side, so only 2 defensive dice. Blocks 1. 2. Thor lives on 1. Oh,
Nope,
no, Thor dies.
2.
Bad at math. Thor dead.
Yep.
Yep. I mean, that's a tough recal, right? Like, you're asking a lot out of a recal to save you there.
I
but you
think-
absolutely rip it.
I know. I think that's your out, so you play it.
Yep. Mind gemming, being reminded to pay 1. There's the 1 for the Mind of Gems. And then probably going to space himself out of the Loki bubble as he can. Does have to worry a little bit about Jane wild throwing him into stuff like Zemo. So I think I would have Thanos just go like straight south here. But I also can only kind of see where Jane is, so my take on the angles could be. We'll pay 1 for this once he's happy with his positioning. Oh, thank you, Alasdair. I'm glad you've been enjoying the coverage. We've been enjoying making it. 8 dice Cosmic Blast into Jane. She only has 6 health on the backside, but does still keep her rerolls and stuff, so. Jane accidentally rolls too many dice, so gets caught. Only 3. Paying 2 to reroll a single die because he's skull locked. Didn't get it. No blocks, takes 3. Gets the push and the slow, which is relevant here if Jane wants to try to get people who aren't Thanos. There's some roots we can't see here that are kind of blocking where Jane can go, which you can't see at all. So Jane's pretty much right where she's been, but is now slowed. I thought there was a different angle to get her like past the tree, so maybe the slow won't matter. But
I think once they place the angle down, it was very clear that.
Yeah, both players agreed she's not going very far there. So. Oh yeah, if I come over here and look, I can see. Yeah, she's very much hemmed in there. Jane charge. So checking to see if he'll be able to throw at Zemo, train at Zemo after punching Thanos. She's pretty much base to base with Thanos now. Nope, thinking. Might try to punch Zemo instead. I think I'm going after not Thanos here. Oh, punch Thanos. 3 successes, fully blocked, because get the wild throw. So no damage there, but Zemo's going to have to live large. Doesn't block anything on Zemo, takes 4. Has 1 health remaining. All right. Can't be mad about that as the Jane player, I don't think. Okay, so the gunshot from Thanos. 8 dice into him, and a wild does 2 damage to everyone within 2, and since it's before damage, it will still happen even if Thanos leaves the board. Oh, but she's in range herself. Yes, so no damage to Thanos. The splash does happen. Yes, Jane also takes 2 from her own attack. She gets the wild unit within 2, which she is. So Jane took 2, Zemo took 2 and dead. Thanos took nothing, blocked it all, and Bullseye took 2. Mike, for a moment there, thought Jane was dead and didn't realize she has 6 health, so she's still fine. Will be able to pick up this scroll if he wants. Still in danger of dying to Bullseye, but instead of picking up, decides to throw. I think that's correct. I think we're here for attrition, not scoring. Block one, reduce 1, take 2. Still living, clinging to life. Jane is done. So we got Nebula going now. She's going to try to murder the fuck out of somebody. Both Bill and Loki at full health, which is, I think, pretty scary for the Cabal team here. I think it's very hard for Nebula to kill both of these models. So he's only going to get 1. But then whichever one he doesn't kill is pretty likely to kill Bullseye if he wants, or Thanos.
Yeah, Bullseye's on 2 life.
I think they're both on 2. I think Thanos is on 2 and Bullseye's on 2. So this is spooky.
Yeah.
So it is Nebula. She might kill both. Dumber things have happened.
Yeah.
Thinking about trying to get value. Nope, back to Let's think about Bullseye. Went back to Nebs. Shock Sword Assault with a Death Decree for 3. So 10 dice into Loki. I think this is correct. I think we want Loki out of here. Moving himself off the point so that Nebula does not get her rerolls.
Yep.
Five successes. No blocks from Loki. Didn't have the powder count blank, so. And a dead Loki. Oh, rough. It's a really cool trickster. Didn't amount to anything.
Yeah.
And now a strike into Bill. Get the wild shock here. You're happy. Oh, he's thinking about aggressive. So if he punches Bill, the aggressive lets him get in range to possibly punch Bill and, or sorry, Bullseye and Thanos. Which maybe means it's not worth actually taking this punch, which I kind of agree with, honestly. As weird as that sounds. Yeah, backing up with Nebs. Doesn't want the aggressive. Totally makes sense.
Yeah, especially because there's 3 power on Bill.
Mm-hmm.
If he can, walk God Hunter and hurl Thanos.
Yep. Is it hurl before or after? It's
after.
Okay.
Oh, then you can't kill Thanos with it.
Yes, you could.
So just by the
doing
throw.
Superpower throw. Yep. Cares more about getting Bullseye here.
Yeah.
Roll a nice block, but not enough. And a 5-die builder into Thanos. Jane leadership 3. Oh, that's so good.
That.
I think if Thanos lives there, I feel really good about Cabal, but dying there. I mean, Nebula can still do Nebula shit, but nope. It is Nebula versus 1 health Jane and full health injured Bill. So it's actually she can't, because her teleports before or after. She might not be able to get both if it's before. Only 5 into Bill. Okay. The place was after anyways, so it would have to be a gunshot to finish off Jane. Only 2 damage into Bill, though.
So she's not going to get it.
I do still think if she kills Jane, you might be able to live through Bill. And then Cabal. Bill could score 2 and win. Well, let's see what happens.
I mean, Bill just has to kill her and he wins.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
And he's got 5 power.
Mm-hmm. Tap Jane. Jane blocks it. Okay. Yep. Score some points. Jane gets pushed by the Skrull. It's just. Yep, Duluca only needs to score.
Oh, that's right. It's round 6. So it ends. Didn't even need to kill her.
Yeah. All right, well, that's that game. If you wanted to see a brawl, you got a brawl and a half. So it seems like the finals are going to be Eric versus DeLuca. We will be back at 5 p.m. Pacific, I believe. Let's
Eric and
double check
DeLuca,
that.
all West Coast.
Yes, West Coast, Best Coast.
Absolutely.
Oh, sorry, 2 p.m. Yeah, why did I say 5? I'm terrible at math. 2 p.m., 1
You're
hour
in
from
a
now.
casino in the middle of the day. Time has no meaning here.
1 hour from now. All right, we'll see you guys then.